Hi guys, welcome back to GrooveTube. Today we're going to be looking at approach notes and how to play through some simple changes. This approach uses the Dorian mode for the G minor chord, and also combines the G Mixolydian mode with the Lydian dominant scale to play some of these changes. So first of all, we need to look at the scales that we're going to be playing, or the scales where all the notes are coming from. So the D Dorian, if we're playing in C major, which we are, so the D Dorian starts from D and ends on D with only natural notes in between. So you've got D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D. Yeah, the Mixolydian mode, when we're playing over the G7 chord to begin with again, because we're in C, it's natural notes from G to G. So you've got G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. Right, so if we look at that in comparison to like the G major scale, the only one difference is we've got a dominant seventh as opposed to a major seventh. Right, so to add a wee bit more colour to it, we're going to superimpose the Lydian dominant mode over that G7 as well. So there's two approaches to this. So the first one is we're just going to look at the Lydian mode on its own. So it's just basically a major scale with a raised fourth. So 2, 3, instead of playing the major fourth, you raise the fourth. 5th, 6th, 7th. Okay, right, so once you've got that under your belt, the next step to get into the dominant part is we just drop the 7th by a semitone. So we're now playing a dominant 7 in there. Okay, so you've now got root, 2nd, 3rd, raised 4th, 5th, 6th, dominant 7th, an octave. Lydian, Lydian dominant. Okay, you hear the difference there? So that's the first part to this. So if you can learn the notes that are involved in the modes, the modal approach, then we're actually going to take arpeggios or triads that are built within the Dorian scale and the Mixolydian scale to use as approach notes to play through these changes. Right, so just to recap, we'll be playing D minor 7 for a bar, G7 for a bar, and the approach we're going to take is for the D minor 7, we'll be using notes within the D Dorian scale, and for the G7 we're going to be using a combination of the Mixolydian and the Lydian dominant. If we look at the first bar, right, each beat is broken down into 4 semiquavers. Okay, so the traditional approach, or the way that I used to do it, I'd see a D minor 7 and I'll just instantly go D and play at this position because I'm playing the root note. Right, this approach allows you to have more freedom and more choice when we're playing. So what we're actually doing is we're going to be superimposing a C major triad, a D minor 7 triad, a G major triad, and an F major triad over this D minor 7 chord. I'm just going to play the exercise through for you, so you've got Once more. Yeah, and if you break that down, if you look at what I'm actually playing there, C major triad, D minor triad, G major triad, F major triad. So we're superimposing these triads over the D minor 7, right? And if you look, all the notes within that all fall within the Dorian mode. For the G7, right, so for the G7, we're going to start with a C major triad, then we're going to run down the Mixolydian scale, then we're going to play the Lydian raised fourth, yeah, so you've got or another way to think of it is you could just look at it as the Lydian dominant scale with having the fourth as a passing tone to that raised fourth. And it just adds a little bit more colour to it. Yeah, so once you've played it down the octave, we can now move it up the octave. So we've now got a flat 7, flat 7, 9, 11, root, minor third, 5th. Then you've got 11, 13, 11, root, then minor third, 5th, minor third, flat 7. So you're superimposing these upper structures of the chord within this fingering pattern, but you can just think of it as a major, minor, major, minor. So it's just that it's a simpler approach to playing the upper chord structures within the line. And of course this is transferable in all 12 keys. So if you just remember the shapes, then you can move that to anywhere you like. So the first thing you want to do is make sure you've got the fingering under control. Yep, and you can play it with different articulations. You can play it short, so staccato. Like so. Or you can play it legato. Yeah, once you've got that under your belt, check out the backing track. So there'll be a link to the backing track in the description of this video. There's one at 80, 90, 100, 110 and 120 BPM. So I'd start at the 80 BPM and get it under your fingers first. The next step in the process, once you're comfortable playing this, once you've got that under your fingers, is we're going to play about with the harmonic rhythm a bit, and we're going to play with some beat displacement. So instead of starting on the downbeat beat 1, 1, we're going to start on the second semiquavery beat 1. So it would be 1, so 1 E and a, yeah, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a. And again, it's really important that you play along with the backing track. The backing track really lets you hear how these changes sound over that D minor 7 chord, and it helps you keep in time as well. So the next step from that, again, we're going to displace the phrasing along another semiquaver. So we're starting on the third semiquaver of beat 1. So 1 E and. So 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and. which is quite tricky. Made I mucked up there. So the next step is moving the phrase along another semiquaver. So you're starting at the third semiquaver of beat 1. I know it's tricky to get your head round, especially to count. So you count 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Yeah. So when you're playing along with the backing track, see if you can count that. So the last phrase is moving the whole phrase along to the last semiquaver. So it's 1 E and a. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E. Yeah, so hopefully you've got something from that. It's just that it's a way of thinking. It's a new way of thinking to approaching how you're going to play chords. So instead of just starting on the root, you can start on the dominant 7. You can start on the 4th. You can start in the minor 3rd, and you're just superimposing the chords within the Dorian mode over these shapes, and it works really well up the octave. So hopefully that's been helpful. So this is just going to be the first in the series. There's going to be more lessons coming up in different keys, different phrasing. So please subscribe to the channel if you like what you see, and I hopefully see you guys soon. Cheers, bye.